I did a teleseminar with Michael Haig, the Hollywood script consultant and story expert, and one of the first points he made stopped me in my tracks. He said the primary goal of every story is to elicit emotion. Now, of course, I know the importance of emotion, but sometimes I would work on a story, admittedly, that I thought would get a laugh or maybe make someone think. But Michael's words reminded me that a story is not worth much unless it touches people. People have to feel it, not just hear it or even laugh at it. And one of the best ways I know to elicit emotion is by lifting my audience up and then letting them down. Take a look at how I do this in part of this story.
And as I started to read, I started to get success. I started to have success in business. I started to get a good income. I started to have better relationships. I even broke up with that girl. You know why I broke up with her? She wouldn't let me read. And I kept on reading and reading and reading. And I read myself into winning the world championship of public speaking out of all those people and all those places. And you know how I felt afterwards? Empty. And I went to my wife and I said, this isn't complete until I find that lady who years ago said those 5 words that changed my life, because I'm going to thank her and let her know I'm living my dreams. I'm finally going to thank her, because you never forget those who encourage you. And so my wife, brilliant as usual, says, well, Craig, when we get back home from Chicago, why don't you just drive back up to Cockeysville where you used to live, go over to the bookstore. If she's not there, maybe somebody can tell you where she is. It hasn't been that long. So now I flew home from Chicago with hope in my heart. And I drove back up to the Cockeysville, almost stopped at the IHOP because I was hungry, but I kept on moving because I got to thank this lady once and for all. And I get out of my car like I did years before. I walked over. And not only was she not there, no longer was it a bookstore. But that's where it hit me. My life's purpose. See, I wasn't supposed to find her. I was supposed to find you.
Welcome back. There were 2 lift up, let down moments in that story. The first was when I was talking about all of the wonderful things that reading has done for me and how I won the world championship, and you know how I felt afterwards? Empty. That drop from being on top of the world to feeling empty was unexpected, and it made people curious. However, it's the final lift up, let down moment that really gets to people, especially when they experience the entire story, because they're rooting for me to find this lady and thank her. And when they find out that the bookstore is gone, they can see that I'm upset, and then they're upset, until I have that transcendent moment where I gain a new understanding of my purpose. The key is to not only say what happened, but to show it on your face. When I realized that bookstore was gone, I had to show the disappointment on my face. I even stopped in my tracks as I was walking towards it. As you probably realize, we can and should also give the take them down to lift them up moments. The exact opposite. The change in emotion will keep your audience engaged. So go out there and let your audience down.